when you're a startup, like, no, try every distribution channel. I mean, I'm a Facebook ads guy. I'm like a TikTok ads guy, whatever. Like, I'm doing creative strategy, but also sometimes it's not the right thing to pour your money into. Like, there are dozens of distribution networks that can make you money outside of the ad platform. And honestly, like, I've been a part of it, so like maybe I'm at fault too. There's been this huge surge of brands on Facebook because VC money was cheap, right? It was super cheap to get, interest rates were very low. These companies were spending, millions and millions of dollars. They're like, we need to put our money somewhere, we need a return. And so you had all these e-com brands getting millions of dollars, and they didn't know how to figure out how to actually do marketing. A lot of them are young guys, and they're like, okay, let's put it on Facebook. Like, we know that works. They get all this spend on Facebook, and one thing, I mean, it floods the market and inflates the value of the platform, where you have all this creative going on, CPMs go up because there's all this competition that shouldn't actually be there. They're not even profitable, but because they have VC money, they're just pouring more of it because they're like, okay, at least we're getting sales, and they just need to grow, right? But there's so many other things they could have done. Like, if you spent that $5 million on like getting salespeople to go door to door, you'd probably do better, right? Like, not to say that Facebook doesn't work, and it has definitely provided incredible returns, and even now it is still the machine you put $1 into and get 5 back. Like, I'm not saying that's not the case. I just think that there's been kind of an over reliance on it. And you mentioned a little bit earlier of the creative agencies being, or agencies in general going, hey, you need lots of creative to put on the platform. Like, yeah, I mean, you're paying them to put creative on the platform. Like, of course, I'm going to come on here and say, you need more creative, right? Like, pay me to get creative in the account because it makes you more money. And most of the time that's true. But like, for example, I have a client that he just consolidated his entire account into 4 ads. We made the first batch we made, and we got a hit ad. The thing chopping up lots of his spend, and he's like, oh, I don't really need anything else. Like, I'm just going to put all my spend behind this thing. And like, yeah, like, sometimes that can work, I think part of it is like, don't believe what everyone is saying online, because mostly they're trying to sell you something. And I think this is kind of one of my big points that I wanted to get to. And like, maybe I'm like a kind of a guru here too. So do your own research. I see this a lot, which is there's no barrier to entry in the advertising industry, at least in the digital advertising space. And so what I've seen over the past few years, especially as Shopify has grown, and you've had lots of these e-com brands, again with VC money, they're trying to put money into ads. They don't know who to hire. They don't know anyone in the space. And so you can have a kid straight out of school, even before college, right? There are kids just jumping in and going, hey, I'm going to start an ad agency.